to provoke feelings of repulsion, uneasiness, or fear. Horror films often include scenes of physical violence and psychological terror. These films may explore deformed, disturbed, psychotic, or evil characters, tell stories about scary monsters or malevolent animals, or be mystery thrillers that create suspense through atmosphere. Additionally, the horror genre is often intertwined with science fiction and film noir.
Horror cinema had its beginnings with German Expressionism. Films such as The Student from Prague, which addresses the theme of split personality, and The Golem, inspired by the Jewish legend of a clay figure that comes to life, were pioneers and influential in this genre. In the 1920s, German films such as Nosferatu, the first film adaptation of Dracula, stood out. At the same time, in the United States, notable horror films were produced during the same decade, such as Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which became a silent film classic. Finally, the great success of films such as Dracula, Frankenstein, and The Mummy in the 1930s consolidated the horror film genre, giving rise to a series of successful films. Is it one of your favorite genres? Science fiction began to influence horror films in the 1950s, introducing themes such as alien monsters and animal mutations, exemplified by Godzilla, 1954. Later, more sophisticated mystery thrillers were produced, such as Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, 1960, and Roman Polanski's Repulsion, 1965. Over time, the horror genre diversified into several subgenres, including supernatural films such as The Exorcist, 1973, and The Shining, 1980, psychopath movies like John Carpenter's Halloween, 1978, and science fiction thrillers like Ridley Scott's Alien, 1979. The popularity of low-budget, B-movie horror movies increased with the advent of video and cable television in the 1970s.
Fuck me! Fuck me! Fuck me!
Come and play with us, Danny. Forever and ever and ever.
Currently, the horror genre in cinema is very varied and, in recent years, numerous scary films have emerged, highlighting some such as Poltergeist, The Sixth Sense, and the others. The Student from Prague, 1913, is an emblematic film of German Expressionism, a pioneer in this genre. The plot follows a student who falls in love with a young aristocrat whom he rescues from drowning. However, to get money and rise socially, he makes a pact with a sinister old man, who takes his reflection in the mirror. The Golem, 1920, is a German silent film that tells the fascinating story of a clay figure, known as a golem, created by a rabbi in the city of Prague. This golem is brought to life through mystical rituals for the purpose of protecting the Jewish community of Prague from the persecution and dangers they face. The film explores themes of mysticism, protection, and the fight for survival in difficult times, highlighting the relationship between the creator and his creation, as well as the consequences of playing with supernatural forces. Dracula, by Bram Stoker, 1931, is considered one of the first masterpieces of horror cinema. Bela Lugosi's performance as the vampire Count Dracula is widely recognized as the most iconic portrayal of the character, who made his debut in Bram Stoker's novel of the same name. However, the film is based on a 1920 stage adaptation of the novel. The 1931 film, Frankenstein, is based on a stage adaptation of the 1818 novel, Frankenstein, or the Modern Prometheus, by Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley. The film's monster, played by Boris Karloff, with its characteristic flat head and prominent neck, has become one of the most iconic characters in cinema and the horror genre. In a castle in the Bavarian mountains, Dr. Henry Frankenstein and his hunchbacked assistant, Fritz, manage to assemble a human body using parts from several stolen corpses. Then, they prepare to bring it to life using electricity, not knowing that the brain that Fritz has obtained for the creation belongs to a criminal. The film Nosferatu, 1922, is seen by many as the most successful film adaptation of Bram Stoker's novel Dracula. In this work, the idea that vampires are vulnerable to sunlight is presented for the first time. However, due to numerous similarities to Stoker's novel, the author's widow sued for copyright infringement, leading to the destruction of many copies of the film. The 1932 film, The Mummy, is especially known for Boris Karloff's outstanding performance in the title role. In this film, Karloff plays Imhotep, an ancient Egyptian priest who was sentenced to be buried alive for his transgressions. However, after almost 4,000 years, his mummy is discovered by a group of archaeologists. By opening the sarcophagus, the archaeologists unknowingly awaken Imhotep, who comes back to life. From that point on, the plot focuses on Imhotep's attempts to reunite with his lost love and the consequences of his resurrection in the modern world. Karloff's performance, along with the mysterious atmosphere and special effects of the time, have made this film a classic of horror cinema. Psycho, 1960, is a masterpiece of cinema that no lover of the seventh art should miss. This disturbing film tells the story of Marion Crane, a young bank employee who, driven by desperation, decides to flee with a large sum of stolen money. On her escape, she stops at a lonely roadside motel, where she is brutally murdered in the shower by a mysterious attacker, in one of the most iconic and terrifying scenes in film history. Marion's disappearance triggers an intense search by her sister, her boyfriend, and the police, who slowly unravel a chilling and disturbing truth about the motel's owner, Norman Bates, and his relationship with her mother. The film, directed by Alfred Hitchcock, not only revolutionized the psychological thriller genre, but also left an indelible mark on popular culture. Rosemary's Baby, 1968, is considered a milestone in the horror genre due to its focus on the enigmatic and its naturalistic staging style. This film, based on the best-selling novel Rosemary's Baby by Ira Levin, published in 1967, marked director Roman Polanski's first American production. It was a box office success and presented audiences with a modern and intelligent vision of Satanism, where followers of the devil hide their evil under a facade of kindness and sophistication. Night of the Living Dead, 1968, is a film that marked a before and after in the zombie genre, establishing the foundations for modern zombie films. At the time, the film generated a lot of controversy due to its graphic content, which outraged many critics and left many viewers stunned. This horror masterpiece, directed by George Romero, not only redefined the concept of zombies, but also introduced elements of social and political criticism, reflecting the tensions and fears of the time. The rawness and realism with which the scenes of violence and despair were depicted were innovative for their time, challenging cinematographic norms and provoking strong reactions, both positive and negative. The impact of Night of the Living Dead can be seen in the influence it has had on countless subsequent films and television series, becoming a mandatory reference for any zombie production. His legacy lives on, proving that horror can be a powerful tool to explore and comment on the human condition and social issues.